Hey folks, this is Rex Bear with Leak Project, and I wanted to give a quick shout out to Anthony Carr. We had him on our show a couple weeks ago. He's the most documented psychic in the world, and when he was on the show, he actually made a prediction from a vision that he had, and I'm going to share that clip with you here in a minute. It's about 5 minutes long, where he actually describes what he sees, where it's at, the name, and everything. But I received an email yesterday morning from somebody that says essentially the owner of the project of Leucadia National Corporation has made the decision to cease funding for a natural gas pipeline that's out there in Astoria. And their official reason is nothing. They have no comment about it. They just said that they're shutting it down. It's a 12-year, multi-million-dollar project. It's even a part of the, this company is even a part of the New York Stock Exchange. So I find this fascinating that just a couple of weeks after Anthony comes on the show and says there could be something catastrophic happen out there by a bridge in Astoria. Here's the cool thing was when he's describing this, you guys, he doesn't even, when he says the name of the town, first he goes, I think it's Utah or Oregon, Astoria. And then I said, no, he said there's a bridge, a long bridge. And I've been to Astoria, Oregon, Cannon Beach. I've been all up and down the Washington and Oregon coast. It's absolutely gorgeous out there. It rains a lot, but that's not the point. You can be happy and depressed at the same time out there, folks, because it's so beautiful, but it's constantly raining. However, with that said, I just find it fascinating that he's describing this area out there that I know what he's talking about. And I said, oh, yeah, that's Astoria. And he goes, well, is there a bridge out there? Is there a long bridge out there? And he starts talking about what he sees. And yes, he hits the nail right on the head. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. In a second here, I'm going to show you a map that actually shows the drawbridge in the area that we're referring to, because it's quite a long bridge. And not only does it go from one part of Oregon to the other, as you can see right there, but it also, there's another connection bridge that goes from Oregon all the way up to Washington State. So, is there something going on out there that caused some red flags? Because, I mean, clearly you're not going to drop a multi-million-dollar project just because of, clay pigeons or a couple of phone call threats or something like that. I mean, I don't think that they would stop a project like that because of terrorist threats. There's got to be something that they found out there that freaked them out. What do you guys think it could possibly be? I'd certainly like to get your opinion on this. Make sure to send us an email, guestbookings@leakproject.com. I'd also like to thank the person that sent us this email. I don't know who you are, but thank you very much. This is some pretty compelling information. You must have listened to one of the shows previously and saw a connection here. This is just very odd stuff, you guys. So make sure to check out our YouTube channel if you haven't already subscribed, youtube.com/clandestine-timelord. Become a member, have access to all the latest podcasts first and free. Also, thank you for everybody that's helped contribute to the show. I'm going to go ahead and play the clip now from Anthony Carr's vision with this Live at Leak project just the other day.
For instance, we're talking about what triggers these premonitions and these, anything can do it, like anything, a blade of grass, a child bouncing a ball down the street. Actually, I was watching an old movie the other night somewhere, or maybe it was at the movie theater because I love movies, and I saw a scene that took place in, I think it was Utah. It was Oregon or Utah, Astoria. And there was and you might make a record of this, there was a span bridge. You know what I mean by it? Like the Golden Gate Bridge, a span bridge.
Okay.
In a town called Astoria. I don't even know if it's a real town or not. Somebody should Google that. And I had a horrible premonition of something terrible happening to that bridge in the near future, whichever place that was. So, and I can't even think of the name of. Is there, unless you use the fictitious name, but use the real bridge. The bridge was real. It was Astoria.
How would you spell that? I'm looking it up right now on Google as we're talking about this.
Astoria, Astoria,
Okay, Astoria, Utah. Let's see if anything comes. There's an Astoria steakhouse. Let me keep on looking at this for a minute while we're discussing this, because I'll do some looking in the background here.
I jotted it down on a piece of paper and I had such a strong premonition about an explosion, a fire, and all around the span bridge. It might be my fault. I'll check it out when I get. I'll give it to Justin and send to you. You can keep it as a documentation.
Because I know Utah pretty well. I mean, I've been to every single corner of that state, and I'm trying to think of something that correlates with that name. As far as Oregon, I don't know that area as well. So very interesting.
Utah. What about Oregon? Did you look in Oregon for that state?
Let me do that right now. I've heard of there's a place out there. There's a beach area out there, Estonia, which is out there, Oregon and Washington coast. I've actually been there. That's by Cannon Beach, where they filmed the movie Goonies, actually, and that's in Oregon.
How do you spell that?
Estonia, Oregon. Yeah.
With an A?
I'm sorry, Astoria. It's Astoria, Oregon.
Astoria, that's it.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm looking at the bridge right now from that area. I'm looking at a picture right now. Folks, be prepared if this is a prophecy being made right here live with Anthony and here at the Leak Project. I'm looking at the picture of this bridge right now, and it's just as you described it.
What's the history of this place? What's the land? Is it earthquake country? Is there any history to it or that area or any? I wonder.
I'm sure there is. It's a beautiful area. I mean, it's a great place to visit and vacation. And if you have the opportunity to live out there, if you can handle the northwest rain, then you'd absolutely love it. It's a beautiful place.
Is it what the body of water it spans? Is that close to the ocean? Is it a river? What is it?
Okay, well, it looks like basically it's in the Puget Sound area there. So it's going from one land part, to another here. Let me look on the map here exactly, and I'll pull it up so I can give you this in better. Yeah, it goes from, I zoomed out a little bit there. Okay, so it's going from Astoria, which is from Oregon to Washington, it looks like. No, I'm sorry. Yep, from Oregon to Washington. That's what the bridge is doing. It's taking you right there. You're right on coast. You're on Highway 101. And then you go from Astoria to McGowan, which is right on the other side of the Puget Sound there.
So the bridge spans, 2 states? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it sure does. It goes from Oregon to Washington State. And it's approximately 2-mile long bridge.
So Washington, how far is Seattle from there?
Okay, Seattle is going to be a few hours. Let's see here. If we were to go from Astoria, Oregon to Seattle, Washington, that's going to be a 3-hour drive.
Well, just remember that I see flames. Could be possibly a small plane crash or a plane crash on it, near it, around it. Something goes blowy like that. And the plane almost looks like a white. The outer coat of it is white. The tail is sticking up. The head of the plane is pointing downward around that bridge, the water. So that could be the reason for the fire or so on.
When did you first have this vision?
I was watching a movie. I mean, as you and I were discussing, anything can trigger a premonition.